drink!
Okay, who's next? Heyo!
Black Sunday here.
Here I am once more with a video on Kingdom Hearts. In every single Kingdom Hearts game ever produced, in some shape or form, there is a mechanic that is used that was inherited from its sister franchise, Final Fantasy. The use of summons. They are characters that will temporarily appear before our hero and help to fight. Some summons are tied to elements. In Kingdom Hearts 3, the Dream Eaters were tied to the arrow element. Simba was tied to the fire element. Ariel, the water element. And Stitch, the thunder element. Ralph was the only one not tied to an element. On average, there are a total of 5 summons per numbered Kingdom Hearts title. And it's safe to say that the upcoming Kingdom Hearts 4 will utilize this mechanic once more. So, what summons will we likely see? It's time for...
Kingdom Hearts Theory.
Who will the summons be in Kingdom Hearts 4?
You know the drill by now. This is just a theory. This may or may not be the official list. It is up to the discretion of Kingdom Hearts director Tetsuya Nomura. All that this is an accurate way of determining who the summons might be. First, how many summons will we likely see? Probably the same as the average. 5. That means I tried very hard to see which ones will make the cut because there are so many to choose from. Some are returning, some are new. Some that I think that will make the cut are not ones I want to see in. If you want me to have a wish list of the summons that I want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4, ask me in the comments below.
Get on with it!
Without further ado, let's take a look at what the summons that will likely be in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Number 1.
Elsa from Frozen.
Of course.
Come on, you know this is coming. How can Elsa not be a summon? Since Frozen is Disney's #1 franchise since 2013, Disney will put in a request to make sure that Frozen is utilized in Kingdom Hearts 4 any way possible.
Even more so after Kingdom Hearts 3. Some of you had also been asking for Elsa to be a party member for some time.
I could be wrong, but since Arendelle will likely not be a playable world in Kingdom Hearts 4, as I mentioned in my Worlds video, having Elsa as a summon is the next best thing. Her element is of course Ice, or Blizzard, and Ice was neglected in Kingdom Hearts 3. How can this pan out? It could start out with the blizzard storm that was used near the climax of Frozen. A slide made of snow appears and Elsa slides down from it. Sora grabs her by the hands for a safe landing. Elsa then creates an ice rail for them to ride on, which they can use to reach any enemy nearby to freeze. After getting all the enemies you can, that's when you hit the finish. Sora and Elsa leave the rail and the blizzard increases in intensity for further damage. Sora and Elsa then go side by side and blast each enemy they froze with giant icicles, severely damaging them or ending them immediately.
Final Fantasy fans, think Shiva with a Disney twist.
All in all, Elsa will likely be a summon in Kingdom Hearts 4 because of Disney's influence and Arendelle's likely absence.
Enough!
Oh, wow!
Speaking of absent worlds,
Number 2.
Rapunzel from Tangled.
Objection!
But a year has passed in between 3 and 4. If we were to follow the flow of continuity, Rapunzel's TV series, Tangled Adventure, should have started by now, and her hair grown back.
Did you see the 70 feet of my father's going to kill me growing from my head?
Besides, I liked her as a party member in Kingdom Hearts 3. It was a real shame that her time was cut short as such.
And I'm sure there are a lot of you who feel the same.
What better way to rectify this misgiving than to make Rapunzel a summon? Her element will be wind, or arrow.
Because wind was used a lot in her world, and her TV series' theme song is Wind in My Hair. Plus she'll succeed the Dream Eaters as the arrow summon, which was subpar.
How can this pan out? It could start out with a long amount of hair descending from the sun, because she's a sun drop, and Rapunzel climbs down the same way she climbed out of her tower when she first got out. She uses her hair to grab Sora to get him closer to her. Then, Sora laughs and grabs some of Rapunzel's hair. Using parts of her hair, Sora can either use it to create miniature tornadoes to take out smaller enemies, or tie the hair around the legs of some of the larger enemies, i.e. Gigases. But of course, this will be limited, both in hair amount and time. If you run out of either one, in comes the finish. Sora and Rapunzel work together to pull the hair to knock out all of the big enemies down, and then create one last big tornado to tear all of the enemies to shreds.
Hold it!
Ooh, going that route, are we?
Spoilers.
Halfway through Season 2 of Tangled Adventure, Rapunzel learns a new song with dark powers that her hair can utilize, called the Decay Song, or Wither and Decay. It causes color around Rapunzel to wither and any living being near her hair to decay and even die. Because of how bad it is, Rapunzel uses the power sparingly, and since she is considered one of the new Seven Hearts, it is unlikely that this power could be used, at least for the time being. It's definitely a summon that Riku could use instead of Sora.
Oh, and one more thing.
If we return to Rapunzel's kingdom at some point in the series, please give us Cassandra as a party member. But I digress. Rapunzel and her wind-based attacks should and probably will be a summon in Kingdom Hearts 4. Like Elsa, she's protected, and she should be utilized the way she was meant to.
Plus attends-vous.
Number 3.
Jack Sparrow, from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
All of you who were amazed by the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 3, say I.
I
agree.
I loved this world. It was my favorite in Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically. It was more open world than any other world in this game, and its naval combat was reminiscent of Assassin's Creed 4. And since the Caribbean has more story to cover, on Stranger Tides and Dead Men Tell No Tales, Captain Jack will be seen again in Kingdom Hearts. Unfortunately, it will likely not be in Kingdom Hearts 4 because I projected the Moana world to Fiti Isles will be used, as I mentioned in my Worlds video.
plus the Caribbean is considered reality in Kingdom Hearts lore.
However, that should not excuse Captain Jack from being used in Kingdom Hearts 4 altogether. After all, I can tell that the Caribbean and Captain Jack are Sora's favorite world and character respectively, because they remind him of home and he gets to be a pirate. So, the alternative is to use Captain Jack as a summon. And why pass it up? His element will be water. How can this pan out? It could start out with a giant splash of water, and from it comes Captain Jack's ship, the Black Pearl. Captain Jack descends from the bow of the ship and lays his back to Sora's as he draws his sword. Sora and Captain Jack then use a similar attack that was used in the Situation Command in Kingdom Hearts 3, with a watery twist. There will be a reaction command that allows you to utilize Captain Jack's guns to opponents who are about to counter. When time runs out, Sora and Captain Jack both board the Pearl, using the ship as a ram for one last splash water attack, and then firing cannons broadside to get any enemies they may have missed. Sora jumps off as Captain Jack and the Pearl vanish.
Think Pirate Ship Attraction Command, but better.
Due to high popularity and high potential for a continuation for the Caribbean later on in the series, Jack Sparrow should, and probably will be, a summon in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Number 4.
Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars, Alec Guinness Edition.
Don't give in to hate.
Since we're about to see Star Wars,
Since everybody, myself included, is projecting it to be used in Kingdom Hearts 4,
we need a Star Wars character as a summon. Since Luke, Leia, and Han Solo will likely be used as party members at some point, another well-known character should take part as the summon. Obi-Wan fits that description.
even more so after the release of the Kenobi series.
Everyone knows that Kenobi falls at the hands of Vader in A New Hope, but his Force Ghost remains, and that's the form he'll likely take to aid Sora. His element? None. He'll be the non-element summon.
Unless you count ground or gravity.
Felt a great disturbance in the Force.
Spoilers.
How can this pan out? It could start out with giant rocks coming out of the ground and Kenobi appearing before Sora, igniting a standard issue lightsaber. Kenobi then produces another one for Sora to temporarily use. Sora then uses the lightsaber in lieu of his Keyblade for a power boost. Using a reaction command, Sora could direct Obi-Wan to force push one of the rocks towards an enemy if it gets too close. The finish? Sora returns to Obi-Wan's position, and Obi-Wan uses the Force to crush all of the raised rocks and all nearby enemies in one spot. Sora then leaps up high in the air, and with one last reaction command, lacerate the Force Sphere, which implodes on itself, severely damaging or ending any enemy inside. Sora then returns the lightsaber to Obi-Wan before he fades away.
Final Fantasy fans, think Ramu without the thunder.
All in all, because of Star Wars' likely involvement and Kenobi's popularity, it's safe to say that Obi-Wan will likely be a summon in Kingdom Hearts 4.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
Number 5.
The last likely summon in Kingdom Hearts 4 is... May from Turning Red.
Oh, thank you.
For this last one, it was either May or Buzz Lightyear. If there are 6 summons, then Buzz Lightyear would be the last one. But for this video, let's assume that May is the last one, and there is a good reason why. In Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, we've had cute summons. In Final Fantasy VII Remake, we've had both a regular chocobo and a fat chocobo as cute summons. In the first Kingdom Hearts game, we've had Dumbo and Bambi as cute summons. In Kingdom Hearts 3, we've had the Dream Eaters as the cute summon. I believe that it would be most appropriate to have a cute summon in Kingdom Hearts 4 as well, and May in panda form is the perfect fit.
Pete Doctor literally called May's panda the Hulk, but cuter.
Her element will be fire. Some parts, yes. Others, not so much. How can this pan out exactly? It could start out from a high place, be it a building or a mountain, depending on the world. It zooms in to reveal May in human form. She turns into panda form as she jumps up high in front of a moon. She goes supersonic and get flames around her. She then picks up Sora using her shoulders.
Similar to how Ralph picked up Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sora laughs in excitement, and then you take control of May. You attack using May's paws to punch and scratch small enemies. Using reaction commands, you aim at the larger enemies and she shoots herself towards them like a meteor. When time runs out, you hit the finish.
Spoiler, 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 spoiler.
Shut off that damn noise!
The finish? May whistles to call out the other red pandas, i.e. her grandmother and her aunts. May then jumps up high and then have the other pandas follow her lead in descending on all nearby enemies. They crash down like meteors, similar to how Xehanort called them in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. The summon ends with May's mother's panda reaching for May, and her mother does one giant scratch on all the enemies that were not destroyed. May returns to human form and goes shoulder to shoulder with Sora before disappearing with all the other pandas.
Final Fantasy fans, think of Rit, but cuter, and with a Pixar twist.
All in all, being cute, not to mention the first Pixar summon, makes May likely the final summon in Kingdom Hearts 4.
It's the wrong one!
Remember, this is just a theory. It's not confirming the list. Until we know the truth, recap time!
There are a total of 5 summons projected to be in Kingdom Hearts 4. Elsa from Frozen, Rapunzel from Tangled, Captain, Jack Sparrow from Caribbean, Alec Guinness Obi-Wan from Star Wars, and May from Turning Red. Elsa, because of Disney's influence. Rapunzel, same reason. Jack, because of how Sora likes his character and his world. Obi-Wan, to strengthen the bond with Star Wars. And May, because her panda is cute. Square Enix and Disney, make them happen. Especially May. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button and give them a thumbs up. Also leave out comments, as I certainly love debates. Thank you for watching, and remember, you will receive the information you seek, or my name isn't
Black Sunday.
Thanks a lot, kid.
See ya!